Hey everybody, Rich from Elk Endeavors here. Hey, today I wanted to talk about being productive, okay? Not being busy, but being productive. It's so important to differentiate between the two. And when we talk about being busy, phones are busy, right? Phones are busy, but systems are productive. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you about today is systems. We all know that, if you go to work, actually studies have shown that if you go to work to an office, you get half as much done as you could if you were just at home and you had a home office and you didn't have any distractions because you end up talking to people. People say, do you have a minute? But that takes 5 minutes. You're always getting interrupted, things like that. So you're sort of busy at work, and then that's why most people have to take their work home with them, right? They have to bring their laptop home so they can get more work done after work, or they go back to the office, because they haven't gotten everything done. And that's it. It's a struggle and it's a drag, but that's the way a lot of it is. So what we want to do is really focus on productivity and making sure that we get things done so that we can move on with our day. And I've been thinking a lot about how we, instead of fitting our personal lives into our work lives, what if we looked at it as fitting our work lives into our personal life? Right? Like, we're all sort of living to work, and we spend our spare time with our family, right? Where it should be the other way around. We should be able to spend all of our time with our family and work when it's convenient. And that's the struggle of the entrepreneur. That's the dream of the entrepreneur. And I think that's what everyone's sort of after. And if it was easy, then everyone would be doing it, right? But it's hard. And so you have to really work at it and work to succeed. So when we go back to systems, we want to look at how systems will help you succeed. And so one of the things that Vic says from the 4% Success Challenge, he says people fail, systems work. Right? People fail, systems work. And so I've been a part of teams, and I've been a part of systems. I was in the Army. That's an entire system in and of itself. And then I also worked for a company called Cycle America, and I directed bike tours across the country. Now, there is a system involved in that, and it was a much more it wasn't loose. It wasn't loose, but you had to be very, very flexible because you never knew what was coming around the bend. But there was a system in place to take care of any problems. So if we were supposed to be on a specific road, and one day, and we were going from somewhere in Wyoming to somewhere else in Wyoming, but that road was closed and that's the only road to get there, we had to drive people 20 miles with their bicycles around like they were building a road on a mountain, or they were reconstructing a road on a mountain. At any rate, there was a system for that, right? We knew that those things were going to happen, so we had systems in place to make sure that they took care of themselves. And that's really what you need as an affiliate entrepreneur is a system. You have to have a system in place in order to succeed. And the thing about systems, and again, this is kind of it's not really a misconception, but it's something we need to understand, is that the system, it doesn't prevent failure. Nothing's going to prevent failure, right? You're going to screw up, you're going to fail, something's going to fail, but having the system in place allows you to fail without it being catastrophic failure, right? So when you try something, so let's say like if I'm trying to put out an ad for a product that I want to promote, and the product or the ad doesn't work, right? It converts really poorly. It's not a very good ad, right? Or it turns out that it's not a very good ad. I thought it was a really good ad, but the market has told me that it's not a very good ad because no one's buying it, right? So I go back, and this is the system, right? You start out, and if it doesn't work, you start out by creating something that you think is going to work, and by all the research and all the examples that you used, it should work, but then it doesn't. So the system, the next part of the system is that you tweak the ad tweak whatever it was that you were saying in the ad, and then see how that works, and you advertise with that. And once you get that down, once you get it down to a level of certainty that you're going to, that the ad's going to work and it's going to convert to sales, then you scale it up. So you say, okay, well, this is, people are buying this at a rate of 60%, and that's what I wanted. So I'm going to go with, I'm going to hit it. Instead of throwing $50 at it, I'm going to throw $1,000 at it, right? And get 60% of that back, or 60% sales on that. So the numbers work, and a lot of the system has to do with numbers. So you have to know your numbers, right? So if you're looking at how to create good revenue and good income, you have to know your numbers. So if you're spending, I think like Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels, he says if you're putting in $1 and you're getting $1 back, you're like, you're really not good. If you're breaking even, right? Which I think a lot of us when we start out, we want to break even, right? We want to make sure we get that money back, and that's what makes us feel better. But then if you were putting in $1 in and getting $1.50 back, $1.50 back, then you're really rocking it, and then you're just scaling up from there. And so that's the numbers. You have to know what your numbers are in order to make sure that whatever it is that you're selling is successful. And so at first with affiliate entrepreneurship, and I'll tell you this flat out, at first, when you get your first sale, like you might spend, you might invest a lot of money, or what feels like a lot of money into that first sale. And so you put all the money in, and you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, and you're trying to get this locomotive started, but it's literally like pushing a locomotive yourself. So you're trying and you're trying, and you're waiting for that momentum, and then you get your first sale, and maybe you've spent $1,000 on a program, on advertising, on the tools. You've spent what feels like a lot of money, and $1,000 is a lot of money, right? So you spend $1,000, but you've invested $1,000. There's a difference, right? You haven't spent it, because spending implies that you're not learning from it. It's a consumable, where you're not going to get it replaced. Whereas if you're investing it, everything you do is you're learning from it, right? So when you invest something, or when you invest in something, you create something to learn from, and therefore it's an investment. Does that make sense? It's an investment. So back to my example. So if you're putting out, like you're trying to sell this product, right? And you're grinding and you're trying to figure out how to sell the product, and finally, it comes through, and it's a monthly product. Like, I'll just use the 4% Success Challenge. It's a monthly product, and someone finally bought it, right? Someone finally bought it from you and decided to help themselves, and the whole thing. And it's like, it feels like you won the Super Bowl, right? And you get $57, right? For the 197, you get a 30% commission, so you get $57, and it's like that $57 feels like, like $157,000, $157,000, right? And so but if it stayed like that, it wouldn't work, right? You spent $1,000 and you got $57 back. It doesn't work, right? The system doesn't work that way. So what you have to do is you have to continue to, make sure that you're working on those sales. And they do. The system, the way the system works is that you kind of keep going, and you get that one sale going, and then you start thinking about, okay, well, how did I get that sale? Was it just luck? Was it just someone that happened upon it? Or was it something that I did or said that created that sale for me? And then if, hopefully it's something that you did or said. Sometimes it's luck, and that's great. But it's hard to learn from it. It's hard to learn from it. It's nice because you're like, okay, cool, I've got some money. But you can't learn as much from a luck sale. So when you finally figure out, like, okay, well, this is what I said, and this is like how many people were opening, and I saw an increase in opening my emails, and I saw an increase in views on my YouTube videos or my Instagram account or whatever, and then you figure out what you did, and then you do it again, right? You continue on that path. You don't, maybe not repeat the message, but you repeat the same voice, or you repeat the same actions, right? And when you think about how you promote a product, the system wants you to be you. Right, so I am not. This is me. This is my my attitude, the way I talk. I use my hands a lot. I can see in the monitor here with my phone. This is me. I like being outside, right? I hardly do any videos out inside. I'm sometimes in my car because it's raining, but I hardly do any videos inside right now, because I don't have anything really to say inside that I would need. I'd rather be outside, and so that's me. So the system tells you that it wants you to be you, because ultimately when you try to figure out how to sell to people, you're really trying to sell yourself, right? If you've ever heard of the idea of the avatar, the avatar is like your ultimate customer. Like, who is it exactly that you're trying to reach? And when you write that down, you start writing down like, oh, well, they're a single dad with two kids, and they have a small house, and the dad wants to buy a bigger house, but the dad also wants to make sure that the kids can do all the things they want, and things like that. You figure out that it becomes you, right? I mean, not all that's me. Unfortunately, I'm very fortunate to have 3 kids, and I'm very fortunate to be married and all that. But ultimately, like, that's me, right? Because I know what this person needs and wants, and that's the best I can do. And so market research kind of talks through and figures out how to broaden that. But ultimately, I want to sell. I want to be myself, and really kind of sell to myself, if that makes sense. So I hope this has been helpful. Again, the systems work, people fail. Systems work, people fail. So I really appreciate you watching. Thank you very much for your time. Please, if you like what I'm doing, please let me know, comment, subscribe, hit the like or the notification button, share my information with your friends and neighbors. And if you're interested in affiliate marketing and entrepreneurship, the system that I'm using is the 4% Success Challenge, and there is no better way. There's nothing else on the internet that has what the 4% Success Challenge has, which is it trains you on your mindset. It trains you on how to use the tools that you need. It trains you on how to build a business from scratch. From absolute scratch, and you go from $0 online to $10,000 in sales online, in commissions online, right? So that's what you're after, and so the system is there. It's been built. It's tried and true, and it's something that I can't imagine living my life without at this point. So, and it's only been 6 months. So imagine where I'm going to be a year from now, and where you could be a year from now. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Have a great day.